Hey everybody, so I'm back to share with you a recent cake adventure that I had. I got this bright idea that I was going to do this Cocomelon Tsunami cake, and so I did, and I decided to do a tutorial on it, but it's gonna also be a kind of a what not to do video because I had a lot of little fails along the way. It turned out pretty cool, but there's a lot of little things that I wouldn't do again, and so I'm gonna share that with you today. So let's get into this video. So first of all, I had a leftover chocolate cake that I'm making this out of, and I torted the layers and made sure they were level. This is a vegan buttercream with just some palm shortening and powdered sugar, and I colored it with these Sugar Art food colors. I love these food colors. I have talked about them before in the past. I did a review on them when I first got a hold of a box of them, and I love them so much I bought the whole line of the Master Elites that they have. I will post that review at the end of this video so that you can click on it and see what that's about. But these colors are awesome, as you can see. So the reason why I'm putting lines of each color of buttercream down the center of the cake is because when you cut into it, I want you to be able to see all the colors. So it's going to be really cool when I cut into it. Hopefully, we'll see. For the outside, I just crumb coated it with the green color. Now you can choose any color that you want, that doesn't really matter. But what I would do differently, and this is going to be fail number one, is I would recommend completely covering the cake with buttercream. After you get a crumb coat on there and it's chilled, bring it back out and put a whole coating of buttercream on the outside. This makes it to where if you don't have enough white chocolate ganache, if you see some of it at the bottom, it's not gonna matter because your cake is completely covered. After I got the crumb coat on there, I put it in the refrigerator and I left it in there overnight before I brought it back out the next day. And here I'm measuring for the plastic on the outside, which is where we're gonna pour the white chocolate ganache. And it's whenever we pull that off, it's gonna flow over the sides of the cake, is the idea. In order to find the circumference of the circle, I did a little bit of basic math of 2 times pi times the radius of the circle to figure out about how much plastic I would need. I added 1 or 2 inches more to that to make sure I had enough to tape on the side. In order to separate the colors of the white chocolate ganache, I used some cardstock. Now that's really all I had on hand to use that I could easily cut up and kind of maneuver. And I didn't make it really structural because I'm just pulling those out really quick once I get the white chocolate in there. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money or a long time doing it. So that's what I used. I couldn't think of anything better to use. Maybe you can though. Unless I had like a 3D printer, and then I could make like this structure to put on top that's a circle that's separated just enough to put the Cocomelon in the center, and yeah, but I don't have one. So I use cardstock and it seems to work okay. We'll get into that in a little bit. But anyways, another thing I would have done differently as fail number 2 is I would have placed the Cocomelon in the center before I put on the plastic on the outside, because in order to get that center, make sure that it's, you know, in the right spot so that all the cardstock is the same size and all that good stuff. It's pretty much good to the naked eye. You can't really tell, but I could tell that when I cut the cardstock, it wasn't the same sizes. Just don't tell anybody, but I would have done that differently. What I put the I also need to tell you, what I put the Cocomelon on was just a raised surface, and you can cut out some cake, and I think it was about 1/2 inch high, or a little bit more than 1/2 inch, and I covered that with fondant, and I put the Cocomelon on top of that and put it in the center of the cake, because you want the Cocomelon to be raised off the cake, because I'm going to be pouring the white chocolate on the sides and it would cover the Cocomelon, and I wanted you to be able to see that. So, and I also decided to cut the plastic in half because I felt like it was too tall, which I'm so glad that I did that, because it would have been a nightmare trying to pour individual colors of white chocolate ganache in each little portion and have it not go all over the place. So that was a good call on my part. Glad I thought of that. So here I am separating out the white chocolate ganache into 5 separate bowls and doing 5 separate colors. Again, I'm using the Sugar Art to color them because why not? The colors are amazing. So whenever I poured it into the little sections on top of the cake, I ended up having a lot of trouble with the first one, which was purple. I couldn't get that one cardstock to stay, so I finally just gave up on it and I moved on to the other colors. And as I moved around in the section, I was pretty much able to keep each one of them in their own little space, except for the purple. I ended up just pouring the green on top of the purple and just crossing my fingers and hoping that it worked. Another fail that I want to mention is when you're taking out the little individual pieces, don't linger over the cake and take them, don't fling them over the center, you know, where the figure is. Take them out and immediately have a tray. Oh my gosh, have a tray there to catch all of the white chocolate, because it's a nightmare if you don't have the tray, which I did not. It ended up going all over my counter, all over the floors. It was not fun to clean up. So have a tray. That's another fail. Have a tray next to the cake. Just do it. Just do it. It will save you so much cleaning time. When you take off the center or the plastic, don't linger, just whip that baby off. If you get it on the walls, you get it on the walls, okay? Just save the little figure in the center or don't have the figure in the center. You could have done that. Just place it in the center after you get the cake all tsunami'd. That's probably a better idea. And so I also made a short version of this video. I will post it in the description once I post that one. But it has a different view of me taking it off and turned out really cute. But anyways, it would be really good for a party to take it and then, you know, have it as a party trick and take off the plastic and have everybody ooh and ah over it, and then you cut into it. But that would be really nerve-wracking, and so I'd understand if you wouldn't want to do that. But it turned out really cool looking. And see, it's got pretty rainbow colors on the inside, so I think that turned out pretty well. But this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna eat some cake. I know you want some cake, but you can't have no cake. No, you can't have this cake.